Before we start, warning. Spoilers ahead. Today, I'm going to recap a 2020 Korean crime mystery movie called Beasts Clawing at Straws. This movie is about three debt-stricken characters who go through many hardships in order to pay off their debt. Make sure to watch it till the end, as this is a mystery movie with three different storylines following the three major characters. Their storylines will converge at the end of this video with a mind-blowing plot twist. So, who are the three characters? What kind of plot twist awaits us in the end? Let's find out. At the start of the movie, a mysterious man brings a hefty bag into a sauna and puts it in a locker. That night, Jungman, who works there, opens the locker and finds a big sum of money inside. He keeps it to himself and hides it in the sauna's storage room. Jungman is a family man who works to provide for his family. His family is humble, with an ailing mother to care for and a daughter who has to go to college. Due to the condition, his family becomes unharmonious and his mother and his wife frequently argue. His wife also works as a cleaning service in a port terminal to fund their needs. In the terminal, Tae works as a migration officer to pay off his debt. That night, he is called by a gangster boss who is also his loan shark. Boss is ruthless in collecting the debt and doesn't hesitate to gut and kill debtors to set an example. Unfortunately, today is the day for Tae to pay his debt. It is revealed that he has been scammed by his ex named Yeon, who used to be a karaoke manager. Yeon ran off with the loan money after having Tae co-sign her loan. Tae begs for a 1-week extension and boss agrees to it. Meanwhile, Miran is a hostess who works at the karaoke. That night, she accompanies an illegal immigrant from China. Then, she gets home to her abusive husband, who usually beats her due to the debt that she has incurred. To her surprise, her illegal immigrant customer from earlier fell for her and wants to develop a relationship. On the other hand, Tae is looking for a way to pay his debt to boss. He plans to help a friend, who just scammed people, to flee from the country in exchange for a cut of the profit. That night, he meets his friend, Carp, to ask for help in commencing the plan. Carp doesn't want to accept it at first, but gets lured by the reward, as he is also borrowing money from the same gangster boss. Meanwhile, Miran and the customer have become lovers. Lover finds out about Miran's husband and persuades her to leave him. He also says that husband will never change since his father is also one of them. Miran thinks about his words and plans to kill her husband for a big sum of money from his insurance death benefit. On the other side, Tae is commencing his plan. He waits for his friend in a terminal, but he doesn't show up. Due to the delay, Carp is mad and has to abandon the plan. Suddenly, a detective knocks on Tae's car to look for his friend who is on the run. Tae says that he doesn't know him. Unbeknownst to him, detective has run a background check on him and keeps on following him. Over the dinner, Tae keeps on evading the question. Fortunately, a job shows up and detective has to leave him. Meanwhile, Jungman awakes at night and is late for his job. He calls his manager to ask for his permission to come late, but the manager doesn't want to listen to it and immediately fires him. On that rainy night, he rushes to the sauna to claim his bag full of money. Simultaneously, Miran meets her new lover and they plan to kill her husband and flee with his insurance death benefit. Lover nervously waits for her husband at a bar. When he comes out, Lover immediately steps on the gas and rams his car towards him. With a smile on his face, he calls Miran excitedly and laughs for the success. However, Miran is mad at him as he has buried the body to clear the trace, thus nullifying the claim to the insurance money. Suddenly, her husband comes home, indicating that Lover has killed and buried the wrong man. Back to Tae, the boss calls him and asks him about his partnership with Carp in smuggling his friend out of the country. Tae keeps on denying the claim, thus endangering Carp's position. When boss henchman is about to cut Carp's wrist, Tae finally breaks and admits to the accusation. Due to the condition, Tae asks Carp to follow detective, in case he gets any lead on his friend. Carp rejects it as he doesn't want anything to do with the police, but he finally gives in and reluctantly accepts the mission due to the boss threats. On the other hand, Lover visits Miran's apartment that night to celebrate his win. Miran reveals the condition to him. Lover feels guilty as he has killed an innocent man. Miran suggests Lover to get rid of the car and flee to China. She promises to follow him afterwards when things have settled down. However, deep inside, Miran is so mad at Lover for his foolishness. In the meantime, Jungman has arrived in the sauna to pick the money. He asks the new worker for the key to the storage room and immediately leaves after picking it up. Unfortunately, his manager arrives and catches him bringing the bag. Manager wants to check the inside, but Jungman lashes out as he is no longer his subordinate. After some argument, Jungman manages to get out with the money in his hands. At home, he counts the money and hides it in his room. In the karaoke, manager Yeon, who is also Tae's ex-lover, suddenly shows up and protects Miran from a rude client. She sympathizes with Miran's condition and offers her help in handling her husband. Then, Miran visits her lover who has been drowning in guilt. Lover even hallucinates of hearing the voice of the man who he has killed, so he plans to turn himself into the police. To trick him, Miran suggests holding a memorial service at night. However, Lover is still haunted and even wants to walk to the police station that night. Can't bear it, Miran rams him with the car and kills him. Not knowing what to do, she calls Yeon to ask for help. They bury the body and go to a scrapyard to destroy the car. Then, Yeon invites her to a bathhouse. There, Yeon hints her on a way to kill her husband and asks about her husband's insurance reward. Seeing how strong and smart Yeon is, Miran looks up to her and even wants the same tattoo as her. With her help, Miran successfully kills her husband under the pretense of suicide due to depression. Yeon even guides Miran through the police investigation, until she is cleared from the case eventually. After some time, Miran visits Yeon to show her gratitude. That day, they celebrate Miran's win by drinking some liquor. Unbeknownst to her, her drink has been tampered with using sedatives. She wakes up to find that she has been tied to a table. Turns out, Yeon aims to take the full amount of the insurance reward from her. She gives Miran the same tattoo as hers, since she wants people to think that Yeon is dead and she will assume Miran's identity. Then, she mutilates her alive and hides her body parts to erase the trace. After some time, Tae comes home to find that Yeon is back. Yeon tries to win his heart over with some dinner, but Tae doesn't accept it as she has destroyed his life entirely. Tae lashes out at Yeon for running away with the money and demands an explanation. However, Yeon threatens to leave him, so Tae finally gives in and forgives her. Yeon doesn't reveal Miran's money to Tae, and she even plans to flee to Japan with Tae's help under the pretense of visiting a family. She has prepared a fake passport with Miran's identity. Hearing this, Tae doesn't believe her. Suddenly, Detective comes to visit Tae. He tries to prevent him from going in, but Detective barges in and meets Yeon. Over the dinner, Detective reveals that a woman's body parts with a shark tattoo were found. Realizing that it's the same tattoo as Yeon's, Tae asks Yeon about it. However, she keeps on denying the accusation. Then, Detective comes back to convey that Tae's friend, who he has been searching for, has already been captured. Tae excuses himself and immediately calls cop. Tae suspects that Yeon has some cash to pay his debt. After relaying the condition, he invites Karp to frame Yeon in exchange for some percentage of the proceeds. To Karp's surprise, boss henchman has been listening to all of the conversation. Then, Tae comes home to find that Yeon has killed Detective. She says that she was afraid of being found out as she has the same tattoo as Miran. Can't stand her acts, Tae catches her off guard and knocks her unconscious. Then, he checks her car's luggage to find all of Miran's money and gets away with it. He doesn't even plan to repay Yeon's debt and runs with laughter. In the meantime, Yeon wakes up with Boss and Karp around. She swears to repay the debt, but realizes that her money has been stolen by Tae. Over the phone, Tae laughs once more at Yeon's misfortune. And so, Yeon and Boss work together to capture Tae and get a hold of the money. On the other hand, Tae arrives in a hotel near the port. He brings the money to a sauna and hides it in a locker. Turns out, Tae is the mysterious man who Jungman sees at the earlier scene. He asks Jungman to buy him a cigarette, but Jungman can't leave the shop. So, Tae goes out that night. Outside, Boss and his henchmen are waiting for him. Tae tries to outrun them, but is run over by a dump truck and dies. Due to the incident, no one gets the money and only Jungman knows about it now. Back to Jungman's timeline, which is sometime in the future, Jungman has found the money and hid it in his room. Suddenly, his ex-manager calls him to settle some unfinished salary. To his surprise, boss and Yeon have been waiting for him. They outrightly ask about Tae and the money, but Jungman denies it. However, his ex-manager has seen him walking out of the sauna with the bag, and he is lost for words. Boss and Yeon let him go but secretly follow him to his house. At home, Jungman is caught red-handed trying to hide the money. Upon checking the amount, Yeon sets her eyes on a set of knives. Suddenly, Jungman's mother comes in to scold the thugs for breaking into her home and taking out his belongings. Boss knocks out the two of them, but Yeon stabs him from behind with the knives and kills him. She sets the house on fire before leaving to the port to flee the country. Henchman sees the fire and finds his boss dead. He plans to get his revenge on Yeon for his boss. Luckily, the smoke wakes Jungman and his mother up. They manage to get out safely, but Jungman grieves deeply as he has got nothing left. In the port, Yeon has booked her ticket. She hides the money in a locker and waits patiently for her salvation. She goes to the bathroom, but Henchman is already there to kill her. Despite her struggle, Henchman pulls her and finishes her off there. After some days have passed, Jungman's wife is cleaning the woman's bathroom where Yeon was killed. She accidentally stumbles upon Yeon's locker key and finds the money bag inside. In the end, Jungman's wife walks away with the money, restarting the cycle of debt and murder all over again. Subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like and comment to help the channel out. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.